to round table session. Yes. The first one.
The first one?
The first one. We are here for the first time ever.
First time we've ever done
Debut.
Sure, I saw an episode last week.
You're all right. It's the last one before Christmas. I got my Christmas jumper on.
Yes.
And nobody
Very
else
good.
has a Christmas jumper.
I didn't get the memo.
No.
No, I missed
I was
that.
getting ready this morning and I thought, this is very un-Daniel to do. So I'm going to put a
You
Christmas
know what? I thought that when I saw you earlier. I was like, he's just walking
and
around
I'm
in a
just walking around with a
Christmas
Christmas jumper.
You don't like Christmas, do you?
Oh, no, I
So-
love Christmas.
Oh.
Do you-
I love Christmas.
How much do you love Christmas?
A lot.
Like, when do you start watching Christmas movies?
October. September, beginning of October.
I enjoy
I think I did that this year, to be fair.
Yeah, I
And how good did it? I think if there was a year that you could do that,
This is
Yeah,
the
fair.
year.
Yeah,
that's the
It is
year.
the
Yeah, this is felt good.
you need a little pick me up, a little booster.
Yeah.
Little booster. Actually, I just want to say, I just really hear on the comments. Wolf Fam said this. I accidentally dropped a can of Fanta Fruit Twisted on my toe yesterday morning.
Sorry,
Wow.
fruit twist.
Off
Yeah.
Twisted.
Just so we know, it's fruit twist
What did you say?
specifically. No. That's
No.
That's
a can of fruit.
Is it an important detail? It was a very visual learning. You
Yeah,
knew
yeah,
exactly
yeah,
what
yeah.
happened.
Fanta Fruit
imagine it.
Twisted.
To be fair, that is my favourite Fanta.
I
No.
disagree.
I think like the
The lemon
Fanta
one is
can
my favourite.
twisted on his toe.
Oh, what? Wait, no. No.
What are you talking
That's what
about?
Wolf Fam saying. Mate, let us know.
Fanta
I dropped a
fruit
can of
twist.
Fanta fruit.
Well, what
twisted my
flavour?
toe.
Or
Is
is
that what you
Fanta fruit a type of fruit? It's not even a Fanta.
Or is it Fanta Fruit Twisted? Is
I
that
don't
like
know.
a brand? I don't know. Anyway, Wolf Fam, let us know in the
let us know in the
comments below what actually happened to your big toe, bro.
We've descended into chaos.
Or
Sorry.
sis.
Sorry. I hope that you
Yeah,
get better
I
soon.
hope you-
And you-
Yes,
you still
yes,
get-
thank you, Jake.
and you
That is
still-
how we
and
should
you
have
still
reacted.
enjoy your Christmas. Not hobbling around.
I hope that it's okay.
That is
I
how
hope
we
you-
should have
you'll be
reacted.
okay.
My wife Rachel got stood on her toe by a horse
Oh,
Oh, that
the other week,
sucks.
and that wasn't.
Awful.
That
she
wasn't.
wears steel toe.
The horse is called Fanta Fruit Twisted as well.
Was it the horse? Was the horse that
Can we ask what flavour it was? Genuinely, what flavour was the fruit?
Oh, the horse.
Not the horse.
Horse meat. You find it at Tesco's. Anyway,
And that's it from us, guys.
that's the end of today's.
Wow.
End of today's
I think we're
rant.
ready for Christmas.
Anyway, let me.
Are you really glad to be here with us today, Andrew?
I'm delighted.
So we have a special one. Today it's Brightline featuring the one and only Andy Wells from Amongst Wolves.
Hello, Brightline and others.
Fun fact, we have had a lineup where it has been just the four of us and not
no Joe.
and not you.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
There's been times where Andy has replaced
didn't tell
Joe
you.
at several gigs.
Several gigs.
People get confused whether it's Andy or Joe who's.
We do look. I mean, we look really similar. Our hair length, in particular. Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, so like I said, it's the last roundtable sessions before Christmas. It's actually the last roundtable sessions for 2020. But then we'll be back again in January. But I wanted to know. We have descended into chaos within the first 2 minutes. Red Chested Bird said we have descended into chaos within the first 2 minutes.
We have.
You're totally right. I'm sorry.
We have.
But not sorry. Anyway,
we do every week.
any particular news, anything that you've seen this week, they're like, yo, that's an interesting piece of news. I want to share
So-
that out with the world.
So this wasn't something I saw, but just something I was glad nobody else saw.
Oh.
So I was walking my dog the other day.
Did it stand on your foot?
Did you not call Fanta fruit?
No, I didn't stand. I just picked up her poop, and I was carrying it.
Bare hand or?
I'll double
Put it in his
pound.
pocket.
Save that one for later.
Leaves. Leaves.
No, with a poo bag. And she was trying to go one way, I was trying to take it to the bin, and I full on slipped over and fell in, like face planted the mud
In the poo.
and everything. Not the poo. The poo, I think I held it up.
Oh wow. Sorry, bro.
But you said news that people have seen. I'm glad nobody else saw that. You know, like when nobody else does. If a tree falls in the wood, does anybody hear it? If Jacob falls in the park, did it really happen?
I mean, you tell us. mate.
It did.
It's always the worst when you fall over on your own, though, because you feel so sorry for yourself. There's no one.
And you're so embarrassed.
And then you're
even though
looking,
there's-
it's like,
I remember when Joe fell when we were in Kenya 2 years ago. And Joe
Tried to jump over
Joe
this
tried to
little
jump
ravine.
over this little stream.
And it had this-
and then
You
I
had
didn't
this
even try and
corn.
jump. I was just walking.
And then Joe, I just see Joe like everything slow mo, and his corn goes in the air. And I just remember Joe looking at me.
And
No, because you were about to laugh. And I could see
No, he was laughing.
He was laughing, and I just went, and I landed really bad on my shoulder.
that's why I came
And so
over real quick to
I was
see if
just
you were
like,
okay.
I just went like, oh, please.
And then I did say, "Are you okay, bro?" And then just said, "I'm so grateful they did not make fun of me." Although I'm making fun of them right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
2 years
There was
later.
no time frame on it, so
There's no time frame.
It's not like when we were in the Lake District and when you fell over, your glasses came flying off your face. I don't know
yeah.
why that was so
I've fallen over so many times. Like,
There was also time in Slovakia.
Slovakia.
In Slovakia,
He
when it
left
was
the GoPro on the
chucking
wall.
it down
He
with
left
rain.
the GoPro on the wall, and Joe was like, "I'll get it."
That's
And he
my
goes
James Bond moment.
sprinting
That
out.
was your James Bond
And it was like
moment.
a
It was
James Bond
impressive.
moment, like slipped, skidding across the water, and then like stood up all in one movement. And I was like, fair play, Joe.
On today's roundtable sessions, we're just dumping on Joe. I mean,
My final
well-
Joe story. I remember.
He's really glad he came today.
We were playing at this festival down south called Big Church Day Out, and me and Jacob were in this place we were staying at, and then
This one.
and all of a sudden we just see this figure in the dark,
Dan is
like
crying right now.
just running, my trousers hurt me. Just walking like that.
What's happening?
It was
I had really bad chafing.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Brightline have gone, everyone. Whilst they've gone, I'll share my news, shall I?
Share your news, Andy. Sorry, bro.
My favourite Joe story. No, I found out this week that the US office is coming to Netflix UK. Hey! I mean, it's already on Amazon Prime.
It is better than the British.
UK, yeah, it is.
I think they're two different shows.
They are very different.
shows.
Yeah, I like them both.
Oh, man.
Which one do you prefer, though?
I think I prefer the US.
Yeah.
Totally.
So good.
Cool. Oh, sorry, man. I don't know what happened in that. We wasted 10
I mean, I was surprised you told that story. So.
I should remember.
Stop. My news story. Stop.
Sorry, Andy.
My news story.
I'm saying sorry to Andy. I need to say sorry to the people.
Why are you not saying sorry to me?
Lucy, what's your news story?
In Texas, Father Christmas was driving a sports car and got pulled over. And I thought it
wow.
was really funny.
Wait,
I mean,
Father
where
Christmas?
was his sleigh?
In the shop. I don't
Oh,
know.
wow.
That's not Christmas Chronicles.
Yeah, true.
Oh, fair enough. I've not
There's a
seen the
rock
new
star.
one.
He got pulled over because he had a brake light out.
No.
That's just. Well, he's got
Santa
Rudolph's
Claus.
nose.
But the
Okay.
funny thing
Wow.
was, is the police officer went over to him and went, "Ho ho ho, your brake light's out." I was like,
Banter.
You know what? You have to though. That situation.
"Yeah, I suppose you would have to, wouldn't you?"
Oh, wow.
Oh
Gosh.
my gosh, too funny. What
What's
about you,
happening?
Joe? What are you saying, bro?
My funny story that I saw in the news is there was this guy in Russia who's like 59 years old, and he's had a coin stuck up his right nostril for 50 years. 50 years. So when he was 6 years old,
A long time.
he put the coin up his nostril. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Wanted to
but
keep
he
it
was,
safe. Wanted to
he
keep it
was,
safe.
Yeah, keep it safe. He was so scared of telling his strict mum that he just didn't tell her. And then, like, he had it up in his nose for 50 years, didn't tell anybody, and then he was starting to get breathing difficulties, and that's when they did a scan, found the coin, and pulled it out, and it had like these
Nope.
these rocks
Nope.
had formed over the coin and like some weird stuff like
Did
that.
he still spend it?
That is a great question. Let us know if you know.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Nasty.
That is
So
gross.
nasty.
That is gross.
My one is I saw this interesting article about. This is gonna be so boring.
Just tell a Joe story
Should you have
instead.
gone first?
I saw this news article about Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and Tim Cook, who is the Apple CEO, and they were talking about the art of being silent. And actually, that is important. We live in such an instant gratification world where silence is being ignored. And reality is you should use it when you're having an interview. So you're saying, for example, Elon Musk sometimes takes when he gets out.
Sorry, you can tell you're over 30.
This is why Brightman's not allowed to do it.
Sorry, carry on.
Anyway, so Elon Musk, so what I was saying is when he gets asked a question, instead of straight away answering the question, he takes about 20 seconds, 30 seconds in silence to answer that question. It's like, and that helps him process the answer.
That's going to be really boring. For
And that was your fun news
really
story.
frustrating.
I thought it was more interesting than
Yes. So, guys, when you're all 30, shut up. That's what Dan's telling you.
Anyway, Christmas is coming next week.
Yes, it is. It's very exciting.
Week on Friday,
Which date?
on the 25th.
Oh, so it was last year.
I should put that in my calendar.
Yeah, probably.
I've got a dentist appointment.
Any of you, have you bought your presents already?
I was super organised this year.
Really?
To be honest, I had no hand in buying them. It was all my wife. Like,
Go on, Ruth.
Good job, Ruth.
Well done, Ruth.
Ruth is in the building as well.
Ruth is in the building. Go on, Ruth.
she was on it
The
this
question
year.
is, did she buy her own present as well?
I mean, she chose it and sent me a link.
So, yes.
So yeah.
I don't understand that.
The other day came home with this box and he's like, "This is your Christmas present. Can you wrap it?"
No, I wouldn't go. That's bad.
And
That's bad.
I was like, "But I have to open." He's like, "No, don't open the box.
So there's no element of surprise.
wrap." Yeah, no, I don't know what it was.
Oh.
But it's still funny that I had to wrap it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. No.
So you guys sorted. You guys sorted as well.
Yeah, man.
Done.
Sorted it. Yeah. Oh, no, I need to buy one more. Actually, I just remembered.
I need to buy one more.
Buy one more.
One more.
And one more. Cool.
Yeah.
How are you doing with it, Daniel? Have you got all your presents?
Not really.
He's going out Christmas Eve. Are you joking?
I got.
Oh, I forget. You're the John. You just go into John Lewis one evening and then you
One
buy.
of these.
Yeah.
I'll have to call him on Christmas Eve. Daniel,
No.
Just have you done? Okay, cool.
No. I'm pretty much there. There's one more, I think, maybe,
Okay.
if I remember.
One more, I think, maybe if I remember.
I will.
That poor
Good to see he's
person
keeping a lid
whose
on
present that is. That's not
To be
Emily's.
fair, Emily has done most of the bulk buying for other people's.
Yeah.
I still need to buy for my parents. So if you're watching your mum and Papa Eduardo, it's coming.
For your parents? Is it going to get there in time?
Yeah. You just order it from Portugal.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to like buy it and send it out.
No.
That's why I just
Come on,
didn't think
Lucy.
about that, sorry.
Even though there's no Amazon in Portugal, there's other stuff that you can.
It's actually not.
It's a fun fact.
Different conversation.
They use Amazon from Spain.
Oh,
They're using the art of silence just before they develop it into Portugal.
into the Portugal. Anyway, so one thing I want to read, and I wanted us to kind of like talk a little bit about it. As this conversation has been a bit chaotic, the world this year has been bizarre and somewhat chaotic. And maybe as you're watching this, maybe it's been an okay year for you. Maybe it's been a hard year for you. Maybe even within your family, some people have gotten ill. Maybe you've lost some members of your family. So it's been a really sad year and bizarre year. But I wanted to read this thing that we read in the Bible, and we find this in Isaiah. And Isaiah was a guy that existed centuries before the birth of Jesus, and he predicted the birth of Jesus. And this is what he says, and this is in Isaiah chapter 9 verse 6. It says, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulder, and his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." And I love those three words, Prince of Peace. So my question for us today, and as you're watching home, what does it actually mean that Jesus is the Prince of Peace? How can we know Jesus as this Prince of Peace? In a world that's chaotic, in a world that is upside down, weird, bizarre, how can we know Jesus as the Prince of Peace? What does that actually mean for you personally?
Yeah.
Probably start with that. What does it mean for you that Jesus is the Prince of Peace?
I think for me, the immediate thing that comes to mind is one of a super famous Bible verse. I think it's Philippians 4 verse 6. Is that right?
I mean, depends what you're about to
Depends
say.
what you want.
Yeah, well, it basically, I don't know, to be fair, that does depend on what I'm about to say, which talks about how, like, whenever we're worried or stressed or anxious about the future, that if we kind of, like, are thankful to God for what he's done in the past and remember what he's done in our lives previously, but also ask him to help us, that we'll get a peace that passes all understanding.
Yeah.
And I think for me, when you said that, it's that immediate thing that came to my head is that the amount of times that I felt stressed or worried or anxious and just being able to go, oh, you know what, God, I know first of all that you're good because I've seen it throughout my life, but I really need you to help me in this moment. And just the amount of times that I've just felt a peace that doesn't make sense. And it's not always immediate, but it might just be over the next couple of hours or next couple of days. You're just like, that anxious kind of stress thought is it's gone. And I've known that that's not me. That's because I've said, you know what, Jesus, I need you. I can't do it on my own.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
good, man. That's really good. What about you guys?
Yeah, I think that's the same, man. It's actually incredible that firstly, God, the creator of the universe, just stepped into creation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he created humankind, and then he went, actually, he was a baby, right? And so like humankind, he made them, but then babies are helpless. Like, they can't do anything, but he entrusted humankind to look after him. And that he grew up to be, you know, an amazing man, and then died on a cross for our sins, and the reason we can have a relationship with him. And then God, the creator of the universe, calls us a friend. He calls us co-heirs, and he's with us in every single situation. Like, just like you were saying, bro, like, when times are stressful, who's on our side? The Prince of Peace is on our side. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm you know, trying to find like, oh, this is how I need to do this. It's like, actually, no, let me pause and have that silence.
Yeah.
Bring it back to that. And actually let me pray. You know, a prayer's not a weird thing. I don't have to be in a certain place, a certain time of day. It's just, God, I need you right now. Will you give me some of that peace? And
Yeah.
sometimes it's instantaneous. Sometimes it'll take a couple of days, like Joe said. But it's so incredible. That's like one of the characteristics. He wasn't even born yet. Like, that was 400, however many hundred of years.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, this guy's coming, and one of his characteristics is he's going to be
The Prince of Peace.
Prince of Peace.
Yeah.
It's not even just peace. It's like
the Prince of Peace. He is like, and I think that's crazy. And if you look at like the world that he was born into, it was a chaotic world. Like right now, you know, like the Jews, they were, you know, trodden down, and they weren't allowed to do certain stuff. But he was born into that, and he was like, this is the Prince of Peace. He's here. I've spoken long enough.
No, it's good,
Anyway.
man.
That's great.
That's
What
really
about
good.
You too, Andy.
I always remember that in the Bible, Jesus calls himself a vine, and we're the branches, and he describes God the Father as someone who trims those branches down so that they can grow out further. So whenever I feel not peaceful, whenever I feel like stuff's chaotic or I don't know what's going on, I remember that verse, because I know that through that God will grow me, and I will produce more amazing things from that that I didn't even realize was possible, because God will teach me things through that, and God will teach me things about myself, about the world, about how things work, how how I work. And I get to know him more closely through that. So that's where I get peace from, because I know that at the end of this difficult time, I will know God better, I'll know myself better, and I'll know him closer. And I think that's where I get the peace from
That's
that.
really good, bro.
That's
Lucy,
awesome.
what are you saying, mate?
Awesome. Yeah, in the Bible it talks about how God cares about the birds in the sky and all this kind of stuff, and it says like how much he cares for these birds, and I think it's so easy to get caught up in everything that's going on that we forget that God actually says, I care about these birds. And in the Bible it says God cares for these birds, but how much more does he care for us? And like in the chaos and all this kind of craziness, like that care will bring peace into the situations that we're going through, and it's so easy to forget. Like, I'm sure that we could go around this table and we'll all have stories about how we've forgotten that Jesus is the Prince of Peace, and we're all like stressed and anxious and all this kind of stuff. And it's just about, we joked about the silence, and Jacob said it, but it is taking that moment and remembering that Jesus is the Prince of Peace, and no matter what the situation is, excuse me, Jesus will bring peace into that situation.
It's good, it's good. It's this whole sense, I guess, of bringing wholeness, making everything kind of right, isn't it? I think someone once portrayed a picture of, imagine a brick wall, right? And the brick wall is perfect, and then there's one brick that's missing. And this peace that Jesus brings, because it talks about there's a peace that the world cannot give. Nobody else can give this peace apart from Jesus. And when Jesus brings that peace, it's like putting that final brick in that hole, and then all of a sudden, everything becomes whole and everything becomes right and right standing, and it's something that's available through Jesus, and Jesus wants to bring us that. And it's, again, like you said, Jacob, it's so interesting that that's one of the titles, that's one of the nicknames, that's one of the things that Jesus has. He is known as the Prince of Peace. I'm just looking here at the lyrics for Hark the Herald Angels Sing, and just love it. You know, in the first few verses, the first 4 lines, now hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King, peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. And it's just this peace that we can experience once we are reconciled with God, once we are reconnected with God because of what Jesus did, because of his birth, his life, his death, and his resurrection. We can enjoy this true peace. So my question is, so if someone is watching this right now and they're feeling like they're in chaos, because Jesus is the peace in chaos, Jesus is the shelter within the storm. If someone is feeling chaos right now, what would you say to them for them to be able to experience this peace, especially during Christmas time, which is, I think, where everything becomes accentuated and everything becomes bigger, and like, oh, you really probably feel loneliness because everyone is having time with their family, or maybe because of COVID you can't spend time with your family. How can someone feel peace during this Christmas?
I think, what Jacob was saying before is, I think prayer is a huge thing, and I think we see. I don't know what your experience of prayer is, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know what your experience is. It might be kind of reciting a few words at a church service once a year, whatever it is, but prayer is just a conversation with God, isn't it? And it's just having a relationship with him. God is way more than just a guy in the clouds just kind of judging us and looking over us. He wants that relationship, and it's amazing. That's what Jesus stepping down to earth is it means we can have a relationship with God. God and sinners reconciled, that lyric, isn't it? And it's like, we can actually have conversations with God like anytime, no matter what we're doing. We can have it. We can tell him our worries and our stresses, and he listens and he can do things about it. That would be my advice. Try prayer out. If you've never done it, why not give it a go?
That's good. Anyone else?
Yeah, there's another verse in the Bible where it says, draw near to God and he will draw near to you. It's in the book of James. And just sit, and even if you're having the worst panic attack of your life, like, you can know in that moment God is with you. And I know that might not be helpful to say right now, you might be experiencing that, but God is with you if you draw close to him. And it looks different for everyone. That's for some people that could be going for a walk, for some people that could be sitting with a cup of tea, for some people that could be absolutely anything. I know a guy who will play Call of Duty, and whenever he loses, he'll just stop and pray. And then when the game finishes, he'll play again, and then he'll get killed or he'll win or something, and then he'll pray again. And it's in between all those. It's like, I'll do what I want, I'll do what I love. And
it's one of those rhythms, isn't it?
Like, find something that you love to do. For me, it's playing drums. For my mate, it's playing Call of Duty. But he feels close to God doing that, and because it's a passion that he's got, that God has given him, and so he uses that to get close to God and then pray and then talk to God and then continue doing it. And it's find something that you feel close to God doing, and he'll draw near to you.
Good. That's so good. You guys, any thoughts?
Sure, I'd say it's cool. We're talking about scripture's the Bible. We're talking about different verses throughout this time. Andy just mentioned one. I think sometimes what can be really helpful is, is finding a Bible verse that speaks so strongly to you. Like one of my favorites is from the Psalms, and a bunch of different people wrote the Psalms, and a guy called David wrote this, and it says, surely your goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. And when life's intense and life's crazy and I'm struggling with anxiety and life is just too much, I stop and repeat that. Sometimes, like, I've been in a restaurant before and I've gone into the bathroom and just stared at myself in the mirror and just said that verse again. Surely your goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, all the days of my life, all the days of my life. What is that saying? It's like, it's not just now, it's not just tomorrow, it's not just yesterday, it's all the days of my life that his goodness, that his mercy will follow me. And so maybe find some of those scriptures, because like Isaiah was kind of predicting the future, there's lots of different things that are like promises. And what God says, he doesn't take that back. You know what I mean? He said that's truth. So maybe hold some of those promises dear to you. Write them down on the back of your hand. Write them down. Have them in the screensaver as your phone. Have these promises so you can refer back to them if you need to.
Yeah, so good. It's true, because unlike when people promise you something and then they let you down and all that kind of stuff, God never does that. The Bible talks about, even there's moments when it says, when we are faithless, when we don't have faith, God remains faithful. He remains the same who he is. You know what I'm saying? He never changes, and he cannot change because he's always the same. So when he says he will do something, he will do something. When he says, I will be with you, he will be with us. When he talks about the Prince of Peace steps into our story, he will step into our story.
Yeah.
You know, the moment when the disciples, Jesus' mates are in the boat and there's a storm, Jesus is there, he speaks peace and then the storm stops. You know, he is there, he is present. And as you're watching this at home, again, we don't know what you're going through right now, but maybe you're feeling that in the midst of chaos. Don't freak out.
Yeah.
Don't worry, because we believe that Jesus wants to bring you peace. And this is available for everyone. To experience this true peace, this true joy, this true hope is available through Jesus. You know, we celebrate Christmas time, the moment where God steps over heaven onto earth with skin on. It's more than just a little nativity story. It's more than just like a little baby Jesus that is cuddly or whatever. You know, as someone that grew up to be the most influential person to ever walk on this planet, literally split history in BC and AD, and he wants to be in a relationship with you. He did everything for you to be in a relationship with God. You know, we deserved, because of our rebellion against God, we deserved death, but Jesus paid the price. Jesus died in our place in order for us to have true life. But he comes back to life 3 days later, bringing us peace, bringing us joy, faith, and hope. And ultimately, we just need to put our faith and our trust in Jesus. And we do that by repenting, which means you're going from one direction and you switch it up. You're going from being part of the problem to being part of the solution, to being with Jesus. This peace, this joy, this hope is available for you. So our prayer for you as Brightline and as Andy Wells and as every band that's been here throughout the last few months is that you would enjoy true peace, a peace that the world cannot give you, that only Jesus can give you.
Yeah.
Lucy, any final words?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We love
Hey,
you.
and she used the art of silence on that one as well.
We're all joking. Someone said on the comments, like, wait a minute. Someone said on the comments, where is it? Only old men talk about Jeff Bezos.
Yup.
For a second, I thought you needed your reading glasses.
That's only you, bro. We love you. We appreciate you. Merry Christmas from us to you and to your special ones.
And cut quick.